Hello, Grace Community Church. Pastor Steve here, continuing our journey cover to cover through the Bible. And today is June 5. What the cover to cover people did on this section, I think, is really a masterpiece. Because what they're going to give us in 1 Kings chapter 11 is a rundown of Solomon turning the wrong direction. A little bit of Chronicles, 2 Chronicles chapter 9, which kind of gives a summation, and finally the introduction to the book of Ecclesiastes, which they are speculating, and it is a reasonable speculation. It was written by Solomon at the end of his life. Now, the first thing we notice when we look at 1 Kings chapter 11 is this crazy statement that Solomon had 700 wives and 300 concubines. What I want you to notice right from the beginning is that the scripture does not commend him for this. To the contrary, it points out that this was a mistake. It goes so far to say it was against what the Lord wanted. Why? Because these women would turn his heart from the Lord. Now, just in case any of you don't know, a concubine is like a second-class wife. It still fits that category, but it is not all the privileges of a wife. But in Solomon's case, what privileges would a wife have? Basically, what do they live in, a dorm? It's hard to even imagine what he was doing. Why did he do it? For the prestige? For his sexual addictions? We don't have any knowledge of that except to say God frowned upon it, and it led his heart to do things directly opposed to the ways of God, and for this reason, he was going to be judged. Now, there is a phrase that shows up here for the first time, and it's an important phrase, and it's going to show up as we look at the other kings of Israel. This king followed the ways of the Lord, and here's the phrase, as his father David did, or it will say, he did not follow the ways of the Lord, unlike his father David. This is going to be the measurement of all kings from here on in. Now, you have gone through this. You've seen already David's mistakes, and he made some colossal ones. But why does David stand out? He always comes back. He always realizes, Lord, I have sinned. Please forgive me. Would you take me back? That is the heart of David that is celebrated. It's not perfection. It's a person who, even though they fall, return to the Lord. Now, there is a number of books referenced in this section. For example, the Acts of Solomon. These books we don't have. Some speculate that the one relating to Nathan, could that be 2 Samuel? Possibly there's some elements of that, but we honestly, when you see the list of these books, both in the 2 Chronicles passage and the end of 1 Kings, we don't have those books. So what we have is the inspired scripture that you're reading here. Finally, we have the introduction to the book of Ecclesiastes. One of the most depressing books in the Bible, one of the most profound books in the Bible, and one of the books that has been recorded in pop history. For example, do you know the song? To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn. That is pure scripture. You will read that in tomorrow's reading. What we find is that this book looks at life, and here's your key phrase, under the sun. Outside of the glimmer of hope that the gospel gives us, outside that the glimmer of hope that the Lord gives us. If you're looking at just what is here on this earth, that's where you're going to find the book of Ecclesiastes. It was, for me, in my youth, a profound book. And I remember, I'm not even looking it up, I'm just telling you what I remember memorizing this from my high school years. Chapter 12 ended this way. Let this be the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commands, for this is the entire duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, whether it be good or whether it be evil. And I remember learning that verse because I thought, I think I want to make that my anchor in life. Let this be the conclusion of the whole matter. Pursue God. And that's it. So tomorrow will be interesting reading in Ecclesiastes. Hold on to your seats, boys and girls. A little depressing, but also beautiful. One of my most common wedding messages is from Ecclesiastes. I'll talk about that tomorrow. God bless you. Have a great day.